Dave Lunn is in the chat and says he talked a lot about his injury and recovery. How does that affect the Oilers' handling of Gagner? Yeah, I mean, so he started the answer kind of saying, Jeff Jackson took over. Obviously, his relationship with Jackson, his dad worked for the agency. Jackson represents Gagner. I think he was one of his first clients too. Like, there's a relationship there. So it makes sense. And how does it relate to his injury? I think there's a high amount of respect there. I think if Gagner comes into camp a week in and is like, man, my hips are shot. Like, I thought I could keep up. I can't keep up. I don't think the Oilers are going to be upset at that. And kind of the other way as well. Like, if Gagner comes in and busts his ass, I mean, and it doesn't work out, I think he should understand and know that he has a close relationship with the guys on the other side of the table. He knows the tough job and tough calls they might have to make. Like, I just think that mutual respect, both in terms of his health and his ability to bounce back to that, I think that's something that Gagner probably takes a lot of comfort in, right? And you can kind of tell just from his answer there.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. There is just a mutual respect all over. And you know what? Maybe this is also just a showcase for Gagner in a little bit too. Like, he's gone through free agency. Now, if it doesn't work for the Oilers, at least he has the opportunity to prove himself to the rest of the league that he can still play in the NHL on a regular basis, like Chris Versteeg did it, right? Hopefully, he doesn't go to Calgary, but.
Someone said, am I the only one not excited about Gagner? What does he bring? Like, it's a PTO at the end of the day. One, it's giving us something to talk about right now. That's a big plus. Two, again, you need veterans for preseason games. If Gagner comes in, plays 4 preseason games, and they say, hey, it's not going to work, or hey, we're going to send you down to Bakersfield, and again, maybe down the line, this leads to a coaching thing, a management thing. Like, there's no downside to signing guys to a PTO. Why are people talking about Steve Dangle in the chat? I don't understand that. Pringle says, why couldn't we bring back Zach Kassian? Because Zach Kassian is objectively a worse hockey player than Sam Gagner. Sam Gagner is going to score you, again, if you gave him 82 games on whatever team this year, he's scoring you 10 to 12 goals. Like, he's still effective. He has a good nose for the net. He's got good offensive instincts. Gagner is still good. Zach Kassian mailed it in Arizona last year. I have no problem coming out and saying that. I don't think he's going to play in the NHL again. I think part of that might be health too, but he looked out of gas in Arizona. That's not a player I would be even remotely interested in. Alicia says, not Gagner in Bakersfield, but I think that's something they've probably talked about. I probably should have asked Sam Gagner this yesterday when I interviewed him, but the idea of him going down to Baco and just being a real good pro for that team down there, that wouldn't make this project and this experiment a failure by any means.
You got to remember too, last time Sam Gagner was here, he played in Bakersfield.
Yep.
The Oilers sent him down. This is not something he's unfamiliar with. And so I don't think, like you said, Tyler, Sam Gagner is more than likely expecting some kind of decision this season, whenever it may be, that he probably spends a little bit of time in California, not on an NHL road trip.
Lance says, just shoot him a text. Dave Lund, did any vet player not mail it in Arizona last year? Yeah, I mean, that's also fair. I don't think. Yeah. Although we talked about it last week, sleeper team this year. Everybody watch out for the Yotes. I'm low-key hopping on that Yotes bandwagon. I want to see the Yotes do well. Columbus, Buffalo. There's a couple teams that I want them to upset the status quo a little bit. The league's gotten a little stale in terms of its playoff races the last couple of years, I think.
Yeah. Who would mine be? I think, I think I'm on I know this isn't really original or anything, but I think I'm on the Penguins train too.
You want to see that thing go well?
I mean, Sid the Kid. You got to just respect what Sid has done. And I think he deserves one more opportunity to have a crack.
One last kick at the can. Yeah, I'm getting on that bandwagon this year for sure.
And then we'll get Crosby and McDavid in the Stanley Cup Finals.
That'd be something. Let's move along on the Star Mechanical News desk. We'll talk a little bit more Gagner and all that in the next bit. Evan Bouchard got his new deal, continuing the annoying trend of news breaking in the hours/days following this live show. I swear it's been like 3 weeks in a row where the Oilers have had news break on a Wednesday, and we committed to doing this show on Tuesdays. But Bouchard gets a 2-year, $3.9 million deal. You've heard a ton of analysis on this already, so we don't have to rehash things too much. I think it's exactly what we believed it was going to be. Would it have been cool if Evan Bouchard wanted to cut the Oilers a deal and sign for $3.45 million, and then, Gagner and Lavoie could have made the team? Yeah, it would have been great, but that's not on Evan Bouchard to do that. And I don't